Welcome back to part 2 of building a new roof for my sim racing rig. The first step was getting these rigid foam insulation boards and the gluing them together to create the base structure. After that came the measuring, which was honestly one of the hardest parts of the whole project. Working in a 3-day space and figuring out exactly where everything needed to be cut and positioned took quite a bit of time, but eventually we got there. Then it was time to cut everything to shape. Doing that at home was definitely a bit of a pain, but in the end I managed to get the exact shape I was aiming for. Next, I had to reinforce the structure. Since the roof is going to be suspended the entire time, the joints needed some extra strength to make sure everything would hold up properly. And here's the first test fit. Thankfully, it looked like I got the shape right. Everything lined up exactly as I wanted, which was a huge relief. At that point, I knew the project was heading in the right direction. This mechanism here will allow me to raise or lower the roof depending on the car I'm driving and how much space I need. With the structure finished, it was finally time for the Alcantara wrap. Applying it by myself was definitely challenging, but luckily the material can be repositioned if needed. After a few adjustments, everything came together really nicely. And honestly, I couldn't be happier with the result. The black Alcantara absorbs light incredibly well, which means I won't get any unwanted reflections on the screens. It also makes the whole setup feel much more like sitting inside a real race car. Once one side was finished, I wrapped the top section and added the final strip to complete the roof. And here it is, the finished result. There are still a few small details left to do, but the roof is now mounted and sitting perfectly above the displays exactly where I wanted it. As you can see, it creates a much darker and more immersive environment, which is going to be fantastic for both racing and making videos. And right here, you can see the adjustment mechanism that allows me to move the roof up and down whenever needed. In part 3, we'll be adding the lighting and bringing everything together. See you there.